turn in a rusty color and has begun to flake off. Mechanically, you guys lose 1 healing surge.
I'll turn to Berrybeak and ask him if he can take a look at the rust and the corruption that is plaguing us.
Okay, well, Dorian and Solregar and Scabbard are unaffected by this, and you will not need to make future endurance checks.
Okay.
I'll say to Berrybank, if you can imagine me covered in hair, all right, this is what this has done, and now this skin's flaking off, and we need your help to figure out what's going on and how we can stop it.
Yeah, because the combination of those two.
He pulls out. I'm sorry. Damn it. He pulls out some. It's hard to keep
going.
It's hard to keep me and him separate. God, the identity is washing away. Okay. He goes back into the shop and he takes pair of tweezers and he pulls off one of the flakes off of Corvin and he says takes it and he gets one of his few remaining decanters few remaining bottles that is not has not been shattered, and he mixes in some reagents and he says, "Yes, I have seen this before. Have you by any chance encountered some rust monsters?"
We have.
Yes, I did have a brush with a rust monster.
Yes. Did you perhaps get bitten or cut by a rusty piece of metal or a rusty rock, or, like I said, bitten or anything like that?
I vaguely remember maybe something like that.
Yes. Well, this is a disease. It's a disease called rusty paralysis. It affects people that have had an encounter with rust monsters or the rust monster's lair. And if you do not take care of it, you will become paralyzed and unable to move, talk, and eventually you'll be unable to breathe, and you will stop pumping blood throughout your body.
I've got it.
Very, very bad. Yes, I think I might be able to whip up a cure of some sort, although unfortunately I don't have the materials here anymore. I could have done it before those mobsters ruined my shop, but not anymore.
Did you get a look at the people who did it?
I don't know, ask them.
Yeah, I just did.
Okay. No, it was dark and they had covered their face. Those cowards weren't even willing to fight me like a man.
Maybe we can search around here. Maybe they left behind some sort of clues.
Yeah, I'll start taking a look around for anything, maybe telling. Oh, okay.
You don't think they left any clues behind? You investigate and you come up with nothing. They must have covered their tracks.
Well, looks like they didn't leave behind anything.
We can ask if anybody else saw anything, or we can just go find the chemicals we need outside of the town, or from something inside the town.
Well, I received monthly shipments from Baraka on the 15th of every month. I received a shipment from Baraka with alchemical supplies and whatnot for my shop. I think that I am the only alchemy shop in the city. I never experienced any competition or anything like that.
What's the date today?
The 1st.
What kind of alchemical items do we need to make this cure? Can we find them outside of the city, or Can we find them outside the city?
Well, I mean, this formula is fairly basic, and most of the ingredients are fairly interchangeable. Alchemy is like that. A lot of stuff is very interchangeable. Although there are quite a. Sorry, I'm getting on a tangent. In answer to your question, maybe, maybe not.
I'll we're the only ones in the shop, right? It's closed up outside.
Well, I mean, as closed up as it can be with smashed doors and smashed windows, but yeah.
Right, but there's no. I mean, no one's right outside.
No.
Okay. I'll show him. Like, I'll open up my bag of holding and just show him the top of one of the eggs, and ask him, would this help find a cure?
I might, are you talking about maybe actually using the egg to make the cure or selling the egg? I don't think I could manufacture a cure for the rust paralysis from a rust monster. That would be ironic, wouldn't it?
I guess. I just know in poisons, usually having the poison makes it a lot easier to make the antidote.
Well, I mean, so much that you need to identify the part of the poison that needs to be neutralized, yes, but you don't actually use the poison. That would be silly. I already know how to make it and what parts need to be neutralized. I just need the materials to actually make the cure, you understand?
Ah, okay. I was a little confused there. So what kind of ingredients are there, or are needed?
Well, I mean, I could make it from several. I could get various types of plants and make it. I could use moss or mushrooms or other sorts of toadstools.
Moss, you say?
We might just have some
yes.
moss.
We don't have any moss. We have our pastries.
Pastries? Sure,
Can I
I'm
borrow
hungry.
a pastry, Chilla?
Chilla hesitantly hands Corvin a pastry.
And I say, here, Berrybink, do you, why don't you try some of this pastry?
This is not a pastry. Are you crazy?
And I whisper to him, just go along with it. Will this moss work?
Yes, I think that this might be the main ingredient. However, I would also need a secondary ingredient to catalyze the ingredients within the moss. Let me think for a second, and then I can see if I could use some tree bark or some roots. Or there are many different plant leaves and such that might work.
Okay, well, yeah, we can send someone out to an area where that might be.
Would oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna ask. Do you know where around here we might be able to find it?
I'm sorry. I don't. I haven't scavenged for my own ingredients in quite some time. I'm sorry that I could not be more helpful.
Did would any of my universal reagents help him here, or does he need? Let me ask that questioning character. I have some universal reagents left from what I bought from you. Would that be helpful, or or do you need these specific things?
Yes, that would work fine. Universal reagents have the properties of many different things ground into dust, and this way they are able to function as everything. It's very, very convenient. Yeah, I should be able to. Yes. How many doses of this are you going to need?
Well,
3,
given,
I think, right?
yeah, given from this, probably 3.
Yes, I just need a little bit, and he says, can I have your bottle?
My bottle.
Of reagents.
How many in particular is he trying to get?
Well, I was kind of specifically trying to avoid that. It's going to be 30.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll hand him yeah, I guess I'll put my kit down on the floor and sort of bring out one of the containers that I have of it and hand it to him and say, "With is this enough?" And I guess you can assume that it's 30 if you want to.
Yes, I don't need quite this much, so here, take this back. So subtract 30 of your reagents. And he goes back to his ruined tools, and he is mixing and damn it. He goes damn it. He goes back to his tools and he is mixing and he comes back half an hour later and he has 3 small bottles of a brown liquid.
All right. Thank you, and Corvin will drink his.
Ignac will as well.
Okay.
What
So
about,
make an endurance check with a +5 on top of what you normally have. So roll an endurance check and then add 5 to it. Corbin, you're fine.
Hold on a sec.
Ignac, you're fine.
She's AFK. So.
Chiella, make an endurance check with a +5 on top of what you normally get from the cure that Berry Bink made.
Okay. If my sheet will ever load, I will.
That's why you minimize it and don't reload it every time.
I do minimize it and it still goes away.
That's what, and then a +5 on top of that puts it at a 19, which means you're fine.
So am I cured?
Yeah, you're cured.
Yay!
And then he says, he says, so about this corruption that you're having, Dorian, have you, do you know the ritual, remove affliction?
yes, I do.
Why haven't you tried it?
Didn't want to kill anybody. I'm not quite sure how powerful the corruption is.
Well, every time that I've cast remove affliction, I've always had the chance to sort of test how powerful it is, and if it's too powerful for me, which it never happened because well, it happened once or twice. But I was able to back down from casting the ritual in case I did not want to harm, harm my friend.
Oh, well, with that technique, then yeah, I suppose I could give it a try.
As a GM note, that is part of the ritual text.
Yeah. Okay. So what, just roll healing on whoever wants it?
He says, I'm not quite sure if here is the best place to do it. I mean, with the current state of affairs.
Well, I suppose we could go back to the safe house, or...
Well, we also have
We're
to...
already, aren't we? We're cured now, right?
We still have the
Corruption.
corruption.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Damn it. He also says, you
No, keep
said
going.
that you had a place for me to stay. Can I gather my belongings and come with you guys now?
Not quite yet. We have to go meet up with someone else. But if you start gathering your belongings, we'll be back shortly. We'll have someone that'll take you there if we don't come with you.
Okay. I would rather come with you guys personally. But I will wait here like you have told me, Corbin. Hey, did that
Thank you.
magical, did those items that I sold you, did they come in handy?
They were great. I was very pleased with all of them.
Do you want to purchase the formula?
You know what? I will purchase the formula for that lock picking, the lock smoothing formula.
Was that an actual item or?
No, that was the one that you had house ruled that just like smoothed the locks insides, I guess. And like it was a +2 to thievery checks to undo locks.
Okay, the formula, it'll just be 160.
Okay. Corbin just hands over the funds.
Yes, thank you. I will go get that formula for you right now. He goes back to the chair to the wall and gets his formula, and he brings it back to you.
Thank you. And I'll just pass this to Iganak and say, I hope you can have use for this.
I will get with you later, and we'll figure out exactly the specifics of that item because I never actually worked that out.
Okay. Well, I'll just say that sorry, my brain is half working. I'll look into it later. Since right now is not quite the best time, obviously.
Yeah. All right. So I think now we need to speak with the sons again.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
I say, Barrybink, we'll be back for you soon.
I eagerly await your return, Corbin, and Dorian, and Metal Man, and Tavar. I look forward to speaking with you again, Tavar. And Iganak, you as well.
Tavar says it was nice to meet you.
Of course he does, dear. Of course he does.
We look forward to working with you more in the future.
So let's take a quick 5-minute break before continuing so that I can get some water and breathe.
Oh, he's coming with us. You're gonna have to get used to that.
Do you use a voice changer to do that, or what?
No, that one's not a voice changer.
Whoa.
That one, I would have normally done something with a voice changer for that, but like that's something that I normally would have done with a voice changer. But originally, when they decided to make their way to Port Haven, it was a spur of the moment thing that I was not counting on, and I had no time to set up a voice changer. So that was a spur of the moment thing that, and now unfortunately, I will never be able to get.
It was so good.
Now I won't be able to make a voice changer that sounds anywhere near that. So I'm stuck with it.
Well, it's pretty fantastic, so.
At some points, my tears are just streaming down my face because it's just so outrageous.
I'm gonna need to find. There's something from an audiobook, a voice that sounds exactly like that, and I'm gonna need to find it for you later.
Gira, did you see my message in Roll20? He's probably AFK.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go, I guess I'm gonna go give my cat his medication and such things, so we're taking a break.
Okay.
Alright, so Jarrett, in game, I want to start. Like Corbin's gonna start whittling on this like spider fang in downtime.
Okay. So if you just whittle it down, what you're gonna do is you're gonna create. What is the item that you were talking about? What you wanted to do?
Oh, mordant weapon.
Okay. So, you'll get to do all of this. You'll get to do all the damage as acid and poison damage, but unless you get like Iganak or someone to enchant it, it won't have an enhancement bonus by just.
Yeah, that's what I was planning on having. Iganak, or like once we get back to the cave, I was gonna have Berrybink take a look and see if he can enchant it to bring out like the natural elements in it.
And then you'll need to spend the 3,400 gold of reserve, and then you could make it an actual one of those. Okay.
Yep.
Oh man, that was a long time to roleplay that. Is that like an hour?
Yeah, it was close to an hour if not. We should probably go to the dock and talk to Samuel about maybe getting some sort of message to the resistance in Avaraka.
Well, we can now have Scabbard's little bird thing.
That's true.
I mean, meta, obviously, because he hasn't told us what it's all about.
I think meta, it only can last for 8 hours, actually, on a charge.
Oh, yeah?
Something like that, yeah. I think it's called Final Messenger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
so-
meta, it has a speed of 8 for 8 hours.
Basically, the distance to the cave.
Oh, okay.
So we might have to go through Samuel at the dock to send some sort of message, because I think that, having, if what Pharaoh said was true about the head of the guard being part of the resistance, I mean, that's a powerful asset to have.
Is everybody back? Chiella? Emily? No, she's not. Okay. So yeah, that was pretty difficult to keep up for an hour.
You can just make a soundboard of it. A voice modulator to modulate your voice like that.
Yeah, if I had more time to prepare for the initial, hang on. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm back.
No worries.
Okay, so what do you guys want to do now?
Inform the sons of the success of the mission or quest.
Okay.
One imagines they also will have some idea of how this situation in the city is playing out.
Yeah. So would Belrose be with them right now, or or do we have to go through him to find them?
He's not with you guys right now, but you guys know where they are.
we discovered their secret lair.
All right, I say we head there.
So can you guys like tell me more about the Suns? I feel like I don't know anything about these people.
Well, everything, all that I know about them is that they used to be more admirable, but I think about 10 years ago they were the head or whatever leader of this city, the mayor, the duke, stomped them out, and they became like more of an underground gang. That's about all I know about them.
But from the looks of it, it seems like there were still some people carrying on the real legacy of the Suns, like actually, taking part in a rebellion against the current king.
Yes. Maybe maybe when Amonis and I went to go speak with them, maybe they had a change of heart.
Okay then. So we are also against this king.
Yes, he's a tyrantal king who is
We
looking
were
to
all
destroy the
we were
world.
all yeah, we were all sentenced to death for crimes that we are pretty sure we didn't commit.
I don't even think we know why we were arrested. I
Yeah,
just
we
remember
still-
waking up.
Still haven't found out why we were framed specifically.
And we were to be put to death. But the previous leader of the resistance, Pharaoh, saved us. But it didn't go according to plan, because once we made it back to his base, it had been decimated by Padashan Empire soldiers.
So what's this king's name?
Trafire.
I know of him, but he wasn't a tyrant as far as I can remember.
Well, how long ago was this?
It was quite a while ago.
And he is human, so it's already you're curious as to why he's still alive.
I don't know.
But surely we would know that of whether or not this king has been around for like our entire lives. He's been king or what? So it can't be the same one.
Do we know that, Mr. Game Master?
I'm not commenting on this.
Well, as long as I remember, he's been around.
I mean, for as long as you guys have been alive, you all know that King Trafire has been ruling the Padashan Empire for as long as anybody can remember. And he's looked the same. He doesn't appear to be aging. But I'm not going to tell you any more than that.
Can I make a history check to see, like, if I know any more about when he came into power? Or if that was maybe when I was asleep?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I also do a history check too, to see what I know from, like, before the mine?
Yeah. Scabbard, you don't remember much about the Padashan Empire. You never visited the Padashan Empire. Before you were reactivated, you can't really remember anything like that. And you just never really went into any sort of populated area, as far as you can remember.
All right then.
But you do remember that there was the name Trafire does ring. You do remember something about it? But you do remember King Trafire. You just don't know. You don't know what he looks like or anything specific about him.
Wait, so I forget now. What are we saying in character right now? Are we discussing how old he is?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Then I'll point out, I vaguely remember there was a king of that name around back some decades previously, or more than a century perhaps. I'm a bit fuzzy on the when of that.
And Chiella, you remember that there was a King Trafire
Okay.
your entire life.
Okay. Yeah, guys, all I really know is that there was one for my whole life before the mine.
Well, I mean, this is a monarchy. They all would have the same. I'm assuming that'd be his last name that he'd be going by.
It seems a
be.
little strange that nobody's ever questioned, like, if it's somebody different. Does
Well,
nobody ever see the king?
Monarchies typically use first names, don't they?
Oh, do they? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, they
Queen
could-
Elizabeth, stuff like that.
They could use. He could. I mean, it's not uncommon to have the same names in a.
Yeah, but wouldn't they usually do, like, you know, King Trafire the Third or something like that?
Well, I mean, you know, we only know so much about this.
I
Yeah.
know, I'm theorizing.
I'm sure there's some sort of book in telling his history, though it might not be entirely accurate.
Inaccurate or inaccessible.
So is he pretty far locked away?
He's
What?
he's in the city of Avaraka.
He's not like, you know, he doesn't have like a little Pope mobile that he visits the people in. That's what you're trying to say.
Pope Mobile.
Pretty good.
Doesn't mingle.
Does he ever see the commoners ever?
He makes addresses to them, but he doesn't mingle down on the streets.
What a jerk.
What a
Okay, I officially don't like him.
I mean, we don't know much about him. We just know that he's probably, well, he is going to make some sort of advances on society.
I know where we could learn more about him. I mean, just if we needed to, there's always the Vault of Secrets.
I'd like to learn more about him.
Well, that thing, yeah, I mean, it is an option. We could trek all the way to that mountain and see what's on the top of it, if this place does exist.
Well, for right now, we should focus on what we're here to do.
Yeah, the resistance. We're in no position to take on. If there is something going on with this king, we're in no position right now to do anything about it.
Yeah, that's very true.
We have to put the people to our advantage.
Yeah, that's the immediate goal, is to get the people. But if the writings on the paper speak true, and we are able to ask 5 questions, we could find out more about the king, maybe possibly about also ask questions about how we can get more aid from unknown lands even.
Yeah, I just think that we should do as much work as we can before having to resort to these, promised magical answers.
Yes, especially, I mean, the king probably knows about it. I did actually head into a library and actually asked if they had any books on it, and I was rudely scared away, told never to speak of it, so I'm going to assume that the king somehow knows about this place and definitely does not want people to go there. So, I mean, that could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. If he's trying to scare people away, it could mean it does exist. But if he's trying to scare people away, like, who knows what he's, if he's keeping any sort of watchful eye over it. But we should figure out exactly everything with the resistance and the Suns right now.
Yeah, these riots be a very important opportunity. We should, meet up with them now.
Yes. Well, I thought we were kind of like walking there this whole time.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we were doing.
Yeah, so I mean, I was just waiting for you guys to get done. I didn't want to be like, oh, well, you guys got there. Stop role playing. I didn't really want to do that.
Gotta lay down the law.
So you guys finally get there. You see the same door from before.
Dorian goes and knocks on it and says, "Silver Moon," again.
They let you inside. They say, how did the abandoned mine go? We heard that you were given the mission to go over there, and you came back. Very impressive.
Yes, we were successful, and we wish to inform Tawahan of our success.
Wait here. We will return shortly. They return shortly. Let me just update the time here. It's now 12 o'clock. It's noon.
So how's the sun? Dorian says to Chiella.
I don't like it very much. Feels weird.
Now you'll get used to it.
It can take some time to get used to.
It hurts my arms and face.
Okay. So they return shortly at 12 o'clock, and they say they were waiting. You were waiting for like 5 minutes, and you guys go down the trapdoor and follow them to the room at the end of this basement here, and the Sons of Cotter leader is waiting for you there.
Do they say anything once we enter?
When you guys get in the room, the room has a lot of other people inside of it, planning, talking and whatnot, looking at papers and everything with Toahan, and he says, "Give us a few minutes. We have business to discuss." And the room clears out.
Dorian will, once the room clears out, he'll say, "Well, we were successful in clearing out the mine, and I believe you'll be pleasantly surprised and happy to discover that there was many valuable things within the caves and mine.
He says that is definitely good news. What is it? Is it gold? Is it silver?
Oh, it's
Far more valuable. than
yes,
those.
it's more valuable than those. It is residuum. We discovered residuum within its pure form.
He kind of scoffs at you and he says, he kind of scoffs at you and he says, pure residuum is only something theorized. It's not actually real.
No, it's real.
Chilla hugs Tavar closer.
He says, what's with this one? Where's the rude one, who thinks that he can dictate terms to me in my own city?
He unfortunately perished.
Did he now? How unfortunate.
And he'll say, and we also discovered something else down there, and he'll lift up his bag of holding and open it up and revealing the egg, and he'll say that is an egg of a rust monster.
He says, of course I know what that is, and this is highly illegal. This is highly illegal, Dorian. What would a reputable character like yourself be doing with such an illegal item?
Well, it was within the cave. We dispatched many rust monsters in there that had come into contact with the residuum, and it had strange effects on them.
Very interesting. How many of these would you say there were?
Several dozen.
Yeah, at least 20 to 30.
Several dozen. Now, those in the right hands could be very valuable and also very dangerous.
Yes, I've heard stories that they have been, people have been tempted to train them, though that may be difficult. There's many other uses for them.
If I believed you about this residuum, which I'm not saying that I do, how much is there to speak of?
The whole mine's full of it. It's more than a gold mine.
Very interesting. Seems like you have done what I asked and provided a very lucrative option for us. And I am a man of my word. I will give you the backing that you seek as long as this residuum pans out.
Yes, we have one of the merchants in the city. He knows a lot about this. Or he's very intelligent, and he would be willing to help. In any way with learning about it and investigating it. Possibly, maybe he could come up with some of the better ways to mine it, because it does produce corruptive side effects for those who are within contact for it too long.
Really? Side effects? Intriguing. We will have to be careful while moving our base of operations into this mine, if this is as you say. If this residuum is able to be mined even somewhat efficiently, then we are all very rich indeed.
And we could use that to, it seems like there's some sort of revolt happening currently in the city. It could be used to fund a possible coup if that's what you're attempting to do, or am I wrong that this wasn't your hand to spur along a revolt?
This was not our work, although that does not mean that we are not willing to take advantage of it, because this is given us a unique opportunity. After all, the corrupt Duke has been exposed for the murdering addict that we all knew he was. We have always been content to rule from the shadows, controlling things behind the scenes. However, that was partially because we had no avenue to facilitate a takeover. If he just appears dead, that is very suspicious. However, now we just need a well-liked and well-respected candidate to take his place, to rise up and say that he is ready. This man or woman must have absolutely no connections to the Sons of Cotter. We do not want him getting discovered as somebody who has been planted to take power by us. That would be most unfortunate.
It seems that, well, I would imagine that the captain of the guards might be a natural choice. Their ascension, their protection of the city.
And you just want to rule the city from the shadows?
Well, we have always been content to do so. However, if we can get somebody that we can control or rely on into that position, that would be most useful. But how do we know that we can trust somebody to act in our interests and listen to us if they have had no affiliation with us?
Would the king allow a coup? I mean, if somebody would take over this town, surely he would show his force and take it back.
That is also a possibility. Whoever decided to help us out by attempting to gain power as the Duke would need to accept the risks that they could very well be in the large amount of danger. Who to choose? This is too big of an opportunity to pass up. We cannot pass this up, even if the king does flex his might and take over.
Well, what if I do not know the exact strength of the king, but what if we just create a puppet state, leave the Duke, as a figurehead, but the sons will run everything else, and hopefully the king would be none the wiser as to who's running the town.
The Duke does not have many friends in this city as of late, in case you have not noticed.
Well, what about? I'm sure there's magics that can change people's faces. What if a magic that could change someone to make them look like the Duke?
That does not change the fact that people do not like the Duke as of right now.
Right. If the whole town knew it wasn't the Duke, that secret would get out.
I mean, they would prefer someone who was not the Duke. Honestly, they want to lynch the Duke right now. In case you haven't been paying attention to recent events.
Does the entire town feel that way?
It's about half as of right now. Public opinion is definitely turning against him. More and more guards are beginning to doubt why they are protecting a man that no one seems to like.
Would you be able to protect this city if the king laid siege to it or attempted to attack it if the resistance and the sons were blatantly took over the city?
We might be able to hold out for a little while, but if the king truly brought his full might to bear, his armies are tens, if not hundreds of thousands strong. I do not know of anybody who could put up to that for more than a short while.
Well, as you hold this city, and if you and if you're able to hold off, I mean, there's always a possibility of some sort of counterattack if we could maybe garner aid from other civilizations on the continent.
Or even other cities. A king crushing his own city because they revolted against a corrupt officer is a pretty sympathetic situation.
Most of I personally do not think that the king would bring his might to bear for the same reason that. Sorry, what was your name? I didn't quite catch it.
It's Corvin.
Corvin. Now that's a name that is quite loaded in this place. So you have returned to the Sons of Cotter.
I've come back.
After all this time.
It wasn't my intention to get caught back up in this, but coming back and seeing how the city has fallen back into corruption, I couldn't stay away.
Well, I do not think that the king would bring his might to bear on Port Haven. He, for the most part, everyone is oblivious to his true nature as king. And I think that would be a little bit too telling of his true nature. I was thinking that we could install somebody who we know could listen to us, but has no affiliation with us as of right now. Also, if someone had been, if it was known that someone had actually been rejected by us, that would be
What about
ideal.
Trogar, the man I mentioned to you earlier?
Trogar. You want to make Trogar the Duke of Port Haven?
You turned him away numerous times. You didn't want to have any sort of affiliation with him. And he's a merchant within the rich district.
That is true. We have made it known to those who listen that we are not interested in Trogar at all. That's definitely what we're looking for, but I don't know if people would like him. He's not very likable.
Who is Trogar?
It's a man I met within the city. It's kind of depressing.
He's a very pressed trader who has quite a eating problem. He quite a few pounds on him, and he used to be known as Trogar the Invincible, or so he claims. Used to be in the military and have a wife and a family, and all that is gone now, and he's just a bitter old man who runs a grain shop. I mean, it's a very successful grain shop. He supplies grain for almost the entire city, but still, who wants to make their life out of selling grain?
Okay, so I've been in a mine for a while, but is this how things are done now? Like, that doesn't really seem like a good candidate for the Duke.
Yeah, he sounds weak.
Isn't that what you want? He says that to the sons. Someone that
We
you can
don't want
control?
someone strong. Someone strong and someone who believes in themselves will not take orders very willingly.
It's not about strength, but, you know, it doesn't really sound like he can have that public facade that, you know, it would be good to win the people over.
He's a people's person. I mean, as he said, he provides grain for the entire city. I'm sure everybody knows who he is.
He is quite well known, and his tale of woe may lost everything, found a new purpose in ruling and caring for the people of Port Haven.
Are we really looking for a puppet here? That's not what the Sons of Cotter were founded upon. We're supposed to be looking for a voice for the people, not a puppet for this shadow organization.
Just because someone's a puppet doesn't mean that they can't be a voice for the people as well.
Why not let
So
the
what, they
people
sacrifice
choose?
their own voice?
We need to let this community speak for itself.
Why can we not just propose Trogar? Let the people decide.
It doesn't sound like you want to let them decide.
Well, has anybody stepped up? Has anyone came out in front of the pack of the mobs out there, or is it just angry mobs?
There is no clear leader to the mobs. There's no one who has come out in front of everybody else to lead them. There is no leader to this organization, to these mobs. That is all they are. They are just a bunch of mobs. And would it not be great to have a city which is controlled by the resistance? Is this not something that you would want, to have an entire city at your disposal?
No,
To be
I
able
want
to
this.
ship anything out of the city, to have a safe haven where you are allowed at all times? That does not appeal to you?
I want to include Belrose in these talks.
Why do you want to include Belrose?
I trust his judgment. He has more of a sense of the old sons than you do.
Belrose has never been affiliated with the Sons of Cotter.
He follows the same. He seems to follow the same line of morals, though.
I don't see how Belrose follows the same set of morals as the old sons. Belrose cares not for the innocents. He told me that's why he was removed from Feyaro's resistance. His methods were too extreme. He cared not for the innocent.
No, he thought that some sacrifices could be necessary in order to preserve the freedom of the people.
I will send for Belrose.
Thank you.
I mean, it doesn't seem like they have too much freedom now, so
Are you?
instilling a puppet would be better than... The only other thing is we let them vote, and that could produce
User
people
joined
we do
your
not even
channel.
know.
Yeah, so I don't know what just happened. My TeamSpeak just crashed.
User in your channel was kicked from the server.
There were 2 instances of you for a minute.
Yeah, okay, so hang on. So he says to Corvin, he says, "Are you really going to let your high and mighty ideologies sacrifice the chance to control a city?"
No, I just worry that the person behind the Suns today is the wrong person to be running things.
Are you challenging me in my own house?
I'm challenging your judgment. If you want to take it as such, then fine.
You are almost as bad as that Amonis fellow, thinking he can dictate terms to me.
Oh, I'm much worse than Amonis.
I mean, we did have an agreement, and I feel like that we are equals. I mean, is it wrong for me to judge that after we completed the task that we are equals now, on the same footing, and free to speak our minds?
You are, but I think that it would be foolish to sacrifice this opportunity.
I'm not saying anything about sacrificing the opportunity. I just want to make sure that this power distribution is appropriate. I don't think that leaving all the decisions of the entire city on your hands is the right decision.
Should be on your hands, Corbin.
No, not entirely. I was never interested in a seat of power. But I think that our party has certainly earned our place at the table as your equal.
So, what do you suggest doing?
I suggest we have a more in-depth vetting process for who we'd like to move and get together a list of candidates quickly.
I do not have a list. I have one candidate. I do not know of anybody else that has no contact with us. Do you agree that it is important for them to have no affiliation with us?
Yes, I do agree. We'll have to find someone quickly then if we're going to look for someone that we've never had contact with but still expect to hold private conversations with.
Who's the candidate that you have in mind?
Are you talking about the Suns?
Yeah.
Now more I think about it, I think that this Trogar man might be the best choice. He has expressed desires to join us in the past. We have turned him down. When we turned him down, we know for a fact that he went to bars and wailed about his poor, miserable life where the Sons of Cotter wouldn't even take him. And he has the story to captivate the people, how he had lost everything and he has now found his true purpose to be a voice for the people, a candle in the dark, as it were.
What about Kinrad, the Resistance member he's got a sad story as well. He lost his family. I mean, if we're going to do this differently, I mean, if we have 3 choices, but they're all adhere to us, I think that people will get more behind something if they feel like they're going to have a choice in the matter.
So you would like to put up a resistance member in power of this city, don't you think that goes against their MO of staying under the radar and trying to be unnoticed?
Well, I don't think there's any way that if you take a city, if this city is taken, if there's a coup, there's no way that anybody in here is going to be able to hide their true intention. I mean, I guess, well, you expect the king to just think that, oh, the duke, acted stupidly one too many times and he was killed. He's gonna, he can possibly put two and two together. I mean, if he's going to attack this city, he's going to attack it no matter who takes it over.
Belrose walks in. He says, I was summoned.
I say, Belrose, we were just discussing candidates to take the Duke's place. I was looking for your input.
I have not been in Port Haven for long enough to know of anyone who would be willing to do so.
Do you have any thoughts on where we might be able to start looking?
He says that maybe someone from the guards might be a good idea. And then he also says, honestly, I have spent very little time in this city. I do not know the ins and outs of these cities, of the city at all. I do not know what you expect to get from me, Corbin.
What about the dockmaster, Samuel?
Would we not lose our supplier? Would we not lose the way we have to get goods into the city if we moved Samuel away from there?
I mean, he can train somebody else.
That's a thought. If he were to make that promotion, he surely has someone that works for him in the docks who he could promote in return for their loyalty.
I mean, to give the people hope, if you give them, even if it's an illusion of freedom of picking between Kinrad, Trogar, and Samuel, I mean, they will definitely be happy about being able to choose their leader for once. And it shouldn't be hard to instill messages around the city to make these three men more popular, or have them do public speakings or some of such.
Yeah, and to any representatives from the capital that come, we could say that we put in an impromptu government. So then they would have to begin, official diplomatic talks before they would be able to even consider making any sort of martial move on us.
So you think that if the city is taken, it should basically declare its independence from the Padashan Empire, or?
I think it would be smartest if we would say that it was a temporary thing until talks could be had with the capital. Those talks we could delay as much as possible, but if the king could never be the one to say that the talks were taking too long and enforce martial law on us. That would only result in disaster for him.
Yes.
Corbin, you are okay with presenting the people with what appears to be several choices, even though they all lead to us, ultimately?
Surely. That's not to say that I won't be keeping an eye on you and what you feed this puppet. But for now, I think that it's our best hope of getting a foothold in against the king.
Does this not detract from this freedom that you value so highly?
That's exactly why I insisted that we be made your equal at this table, to keep an eye on your, whatever your sort of shadowy tendencies may be.
Agreed. So, who are the candidates in which we will propose to?
Well, I would say Trogar, who is a merchant, tells stories of his past, of which people probably believe, and if they're true or not, it doesn't matter. Samuel, who his best aspect would be that he ran the docks and he knows economy and what the city does, and he's dealt with the people as well. And Kinrad, a soldier, a part of the guard. That's what the people see him as. So if he steps up and becomes a hero and dispatches the Duke, people will call him a hero and want him to be the leader of the city. There's a way to get the people on the side of each of them.
And which one of these wonderful candidates do we actually back?
Well, who seems to be well known throughout the city? Would you know that?
I would say that Trogar is the most well known amongst the people. That perhaps I would say that Kinrad is definitely the least well known. He is just a lowly guard. However, the dockmaster, Samuel, I would imagine that many merchants and high society members must have communicated with him, and he would be well known amongst them.
I mean, why not establish something like a republic or a triumvirate? Just 2 or 3 leaders.
A council.
Yeah, a council.
That is very unorthodox in terms to the Padashan Empire. That sounds like something more like what the dwarves would do.
Do you think that would draw too much attention to Port Haven?
I'm not sure. I don't see how that is advantageous to us or the people. People could care less if they have a group of people ruling them or if they have one person ruling them.
Unless we planted 2 of the council seats and the people actually elected a 3rd.
That could work. The coup would establish 2 people, and then whoever the people want to represent them, they could vote in.
But we would have to assume that 3rd spot would be taken by old officials somehow sneaking their way in. But with our 2 seats, we would still have majority.
Tell me how this is advantageous to us versus having one person.
It would add, it would take a lot of suspicion away from this single person to come into power after, this mysterious event.
To me, it seems like it opens up more of a risk. What if it failed and we only have one majority seat? What if we... And...
My thing is, I just don't see why it would be any. I just feel like it would be the same level of difficulty to guarantee that we put a single ruler in place than we would put 2 out of 3 rulers, like seats on a council, in place.
Well, we would have to split our backing amongst 2 people rather than throwing all of our support behind one to ensure that they are successful in being elected.
Well, whoever successfully if we successfully coup the Duke, then whoever militarily overthrows the Duke can establish whoever they want as a leader. The whole letting them vote for one other person would just be to appease them. So, I mean, one leader to back, there's positives for both. The one leader would be easier to, get stuff done, and the people could just follow that one person. Whereas if there was a small council, then the positives of it is, if one of the leaders should die, we know that we would at least have, one leader in place still.
That's true. It's very true. What do you think, Corbin? Do you think we should try to change the entire way that the government works? Or do you think that we should just play it safe and get one person into power? Do you think that Port Haven needs more upheaval by changing their entire government?
All right. Well, I mean, I just didn't think. I thought that a temporary government wasn't going to have a set thing, and since it's a rushed election, that a majority rule would probably be a safer form. But if you think it'll be easier to just put the one person in, then I'm fine with that.
I think that it would be much easier to put one person in charge, to get one person into power, rather than saying, hey, to the angry mob, say, hey, let's change the government while we're at it too.
Okay.
I mean, they're clearly not happy with the Duke, but are they upset? They just don't like the Duke? I mean, if they've never been able to vote for people, then hopefully that will appease them.
I mean, that's a huge upheaval on its own, being able to vote.
So I'm guessing what you would want is for the Sons and whichever military people who will run into the palace, kill anybody who opposes us, and place Togar as Duke without any sort of vote or anything.
I think that would leave the least up to chance, but I don't think that Corbin would like that very much. Am I right, Corbin?
I just don't think forcefully placing a person in there isn't going to work. I mean, if we want to somehow rig a voting system, that would work a lot better. I just don't. How would you plan on getting the single person in power?
I don't have a problem with what Dorian suggested.
Well, since everyone at this party has, everyone in this party has an equal seat, I say the 7 of us take a vote.
I agree with that, Belrose says.
8 of us, then.
Were you planning on counting me out, Corbin? Belrose says.
Solgar, I think. At least that's what I forgot about.
Yeah, I was just gonna count Solgar.
He didn't get a say.
Well, he's not here, technically, so...
Well, then let's vote for it. What are our voting options? seizing power and getting a vote?
I'm assuming, yes, a military coup and or voting and giving.
Yeah, and a rigged election.
Yeah.
Either way, you agree that we will have to forcibly storm the gate, the palace, and execute the Duke?
Well, if we vote, it's possible that we could get anybody who still supports the Duke on our side if they see, the overwhelming odds against them. If we just charge at them, they're gonna do whatever the Duke says, just based off of instinct. So one's a bloody mess, and the other one might be a little bit less of a mess.
Well, let's figure out which one we want to do first, and then we'll figure out how we're going to go about doing it.
Agreed.
All in favor of forcibly appointing our own ruler? Say aye. The Sons of Kata leader says aye. So does Belrose. All in what?
Thought we were voting on whether we were going to have a single leader or multiples of them.
Were we? I thought we just, literally just said that we were going to vote on forcibly or voting.
Yeah, I think we nixed the multiple people idea, right?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
All in favor of a coup and then voting in a leader?
Aye.
Aye.
Dorian says aye.
Sheila and Tavar say aye.
Sorry, who's this Tabor? I count 8 people.
I hold out Tavar and say, this is Tavar.
Do you really want an explanation right now?
Do you expect another vote for this?
No, they both get a half a vote, so it equals out to one vote.
Yeah.
He pulls out his dagger and he says, well, Sam would like to vote for the first option. So does that make does that increase our vote total as well?
I mean, he's my better half, and he's half of me, so it's half a vote for each of us.
If Sam would like a half vote, and you would like to have a half vote, that would also be acceptable.
I think that I'll just take my whole vote, then I'll put my dagger away. Well,
So then it looks like it's a tie, but I mean, I think that.
No, it's not.
Well, I would assume that Solregar would be on the storming side.
Well, that would put it to 3 to 5.
No, that would be 4-4.
Who voted for storming the gates?
The leader,
Belrose, and
potentially Solregar.
Oh, I thought one other person did. Sorry.
So either way, the voting wins.
All right.
Well, even if we want to do that, we're gonna have to. I mean, if we want to vote to put someone in, we have to have the power to do that. We're going to need to get that away from the Duke somehow, anyway.
Well, I think the answer to that is just getting this message out to the people and allowing this riot to storm the Duke's palace.
I feel like that's going to cause collateral damage amongst the city. You saw what happened to name, please.
Very big.
Barry Bink.
Thanks.
That's correct.
He's just Skeletor in my head. I can't.
Well, perhaps we could. The group of us could stealthily sneak into his manor and capture him within. That will maybe if we can start a rebellion or a riot out and distract the guards a little bit, we could go in and get him. And that kind of brings us to the second, at least in my book, is if this society is going to be any different from the king's, then I feel like that the Duke will need a trial to determine guilt.
I think the people seem to have spoken.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that the people don't like the Duke.
If we want to please the people and get them on our side for this, we're going to need a public execution.
But we have not even spoken to that who is accused.
But his corruption was existing beforehand. So, this is a prime opportunity that we can't just pass up and have this Duke go back into power.
Well, yeah, of course, I would not want that. I just don't like the idea of, I suppose it's, of course, a good thing, or it's an opportunity, of course, to get everybody on our side, but to use violence just to use their blood hunger as a way of controlling them,
Tavar says that he doesn't really think that that's the only way. Like, there's something really diplomatic and fair about having a trial and then saying, okay, you get to die now. It could, like, show how in the future things are going to be different.
Exactly. If everyone's so mad at him and they know all this evidence is true, then what difference does it make if there's a trial or not?
I think that if you try to change too much, too fast, this will definitely get the king's notice, and he will even risk the public outcry and crush this. You want fair trials and all of this other grand talk? Well, do you really think that the king would be happy with people getting the idea that I could have a fair trial?
We don't need that kind of attention right now. If we just, a corrupt Duke being executed by the people wouldn't be so out of place in this kingdom, but it would serve us very well right now.
Yes, I suppose that I'll set aside my ethics for this. It seems like the ends will justify the mean, as long as at some point that civilians will be given a fair trial as well.
Of course, but we have to come into power first before we can start making any changes.
That's true. So should we try to sneak into there and capture him and then have the vote after the fact, or try to vote and then just storm the palace gates?
We think we'll need him in chains first. We'll have a hard time holding a vote with the crowds of people who are supposed to be voting, still mobbing on the streets.
That's true. We should definitely figure out some sort of way to, if there's any sort of floor plan to there, or just if there's any way we could make a distraction to where we can that will make it easier for us to sneak within his compound.
Well, I don't know that we'll need much more distraction than what's already going on.
I think, yes, that's true. I think all we would need is to move the riots a little closer, because the guard out front spoke that the Duke moved all of his loyal troops, those troops still loyal to him, to his palace. So if we can get them, if we can move the riot there, get the troops to investigate or attempt to stop it, we might be able to sneak in from the opposite end of the palace wall.
The riots are already up against the gates of the Duke's palace. They're already up against there.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess we don't really have to do anything. Just find the best possible way with the least amount of guards.
I think I would be able to make my way in there undetected and bring him out.
Well, I believe that he probably would have a lot of guards stationed around him.
That's true.
Unless if we can find his room, but I'm sure he even has guards in his room.
Well, I think in order to get started, we'll have to head over there and start casing the palace.
Okay. I do have a ritual called Shrink, which could maybe make it easier for us to sneak within his walls as well.
What are the specifics of this?
Here, let me bring up the compendium.
It's not on your ritual list. Oh, it's one of the new ones?
Yeah, it's one of the new ones. I haven't been able to add all of them yet. You shrink an object, your Arcana check results determine how small the item... Oh, it's an item, sorry. Alright. Yeah, I guess that would have been pretty powerful. So I suppose we should just head there and try to find some sort of way in.
Okay. Will you need the assistance of the Sons of Cotter in this matter, or are the 6 of you enough?
Can't have too many people sneaking.
Yeah, unless you know of some sort of secret way within those walls, then the fewer the better.
No, we don't know any sort of secret passages into the Duke's area, into the Duke's palace.
Well, then I suppose we should be off then.
Yeah, I think that some of the members of the Suns should blend into the crowd up against the Duke's gates to sort of spur the crowd as needed. You know, keep them in the right mindset.
I
And
think
for
that
potential
would be
backup.
good. I think that would be wise.
So it sounds like we've got a plan then.
I will send about how do you think a dozen sounds?
That sounds good. Do we know how many guards are still loyal to the Duke?
About a dozen, maybe 15.
Okay, that shouldn't be too much of a problem.
You should probably grab Samuel and Togar.
Yeah, make preparations for the vote, for the election.
Do you want us to bring them here, or will you handle it?
We should do that, or we'll have.
I suppose we should
get a
inform them
message to them.
first.
Yeah, well, we should let them know, but they don't need to know right this second that they're like they probably shouldn't know before we go and actually do the deed if we're trying to keep them separated from the activities of the Sons anyway.
What if they are unwilling to do it?
Well, then we'll have to find someone who is. I mean, we can't go to them saying you should prepare for an election before we go. That would, I mean, destroy the purpose of finding people that weren't involved with the Sons.
That's true, but I mean, you are not part of the Sons. I mean, well, I suppose Corvin, you are complicated. The rest of you are not part of the Sons. You've only spoken with us twice.
True. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, I would prefer for us to go and meet them after the Duke has been dealt with.
The problem with waiting is if they are reluctant to want to run for such a position, though.
I think that you guys should go and speak with these people and make sure that they are willing to do so.
Fine. Should we all go to each one, or should we make it quicker and just send 3 people?
I know Togar, so I can go see him, and if anyone who wants to tag along can come. And then we can meet back at the palace.
That is acceptable. Are you guys expecting some sort of payment other than the support of the Sons for your supposedly astounding find?
Well, just speaking for myself, the residuum, should be enough. It's worth quite a bit of gold. So I personally was not expecting anything, but I cannot speak for everyone.
Well, I mean, I expect to be an equal beneficiary of our finds. We had promised resources and a place to stay, and even 1/7 of the residuum found is more than enough to benefit the Sons endlessly.
That is true. It may take quite some time to...
Yeah, right, until we can safely mine it. I agree. This is a long-term hold for me.
All right. I think that we can... I think that we can afford to give you some sort of advance payment of 1,000 gold pieces for each of you for the finding of such an important location. He hands you guys each a bag of gold.
That is much appreciated.
Tavor, and I say thank you.
You said 1,000?
Yes.
Okay.
Um, will you go speak with those candidates now?
Yeah. Like I said, Dorian and whoever else wants to tag along is gonna go talk to Togar.
Okay, Togar is the merchant, right?
Correct.
And Samuel is the dockmaster.
Yeah.
And who was the third one?
It was Kenrad. Though it might
he was too close to the Sons.
Yeah, well, he's part of the Resistance, I think, and he's
So is the Dockmaster.
He's just a lowly soldier. So it might just be best just to go with the Dockmaster until.
I'll come with you, Dorian.
Okay.
Yeah, I will. I'll go talk to the Dockmaster, I guess, along with whoever.
Since I don't want to play Solregar as well as myself, I'm gonna have him go back to the hideout and I don't know for now and be ready for our coming mission.
Well, then I'll control him if you're not going to, because it doesn't make any sense for him to go back.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know where he'd go.
He would go with you guys. It doesn't make any sense for him to.
Well, that we're splitting up, right?
Are you guys?
Technically, yes.
I thought the idea was that a bunch of us are going to talk to these people, and then we're gonna go after the Duke.
Maybe he can go wait at the palace or something like that.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can do that.
Okay, he says I'll go wait and I'll be part of the angry mob. I'm pretty good at that. You know.
Oh wait, can I actually
Burn.
I'll stop Solregar and say, actually, would you mind going to speak to your friend Brute back at the place? I heard from Amanus back in the cave that he had offered you some armbands, some arm guards that were prized and magical to him. And I was hoping if you took him a fair price, you could purchase them off of him for me.
Do you expect me to pay with my own gold for that?
No, I will pay you.
Okay.
But try to get a good deal. I mean, I know he's an old friend of yours.
Solregar, do you have a cold?
No, I'm just feeling pretty deep today. That's all. I'm gonna go to my friend Brute now. I'll see you guys later.
Okay.
Rar, I'm raging now. No, okay. So he heads off towards the sewers. Now, what do the rest of you guys do?
Well, I'm tagging along with Dorian.
I'd go. Ignac would go along to the dock master. He doesn't have much of a taste for the merchant.
I will accompany Ignac.
Okay. So, hang on. So Solregar is heading to the Fight Club, and okay, so he's gonna go
The
there.
Fight Club.
That's what he was calling it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So, okay, so Dorian is going to the merchant to Togar. Who's going to the dockmaster?
Corbin.
Corbin's going to the dockmaster. Anybody else going with him? No?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So, who wants to go first?
The Dogmaster, I will find.
Yeah, I know the
Wait.
merchant. That might take a while.
Okay, so, one, I'll just flip a coin. One is Dockmaster, two is, Togar. Okay, we're gonna do Togar first. So,
Okay, I'll be right back then, because I have to...
so, everybody who's going to Togar, well, let's do it then. So, you head back to where his shop was, Cody. I don't remember where it was on the map. It doesn't particularly matter.
That's fine.
It'll be in the merchant district, and sort of near Berrybank here. I'll put it. It'll be over here somewhere.
As we're walking there, I'll tell Chad like that this guy is very sensitive, so watch what you say around him.
What do you mean?
He's easily upset.
Well, have I ever upset anybody so far? I mean, I think I've been pretty normal.
Maybe, well, maybe normal by, you know, I mean, you gotta admit you lived on yourself by yourself for a long time, so maybe your social skills aren't perfect.
You're gonna have to be a little bit more specific.
You've lived by your, how much more specific can I be? You have been isolated for a very long time. It's only been you and Tavar, so I mean, naturally you're gonna be a little rusty when talking to you know, people and you know how you interact. Correct?
I mean, I guess so, but I just don't know. I don't know what I shouldn't say to people. Is there anything in particular?
Well, it's like I was saying before. You know, just Tavar. You know, just that's pretty. People get upset. You know, when you know you just shove Tavar in their face, and they're just like, you know, I don't love anything as much as I love. You know, as much as this love. You know, they get upset.
Okay, so you are almost there. You guys can keep talking.
They do. I don't want to upset anybody. I just really, you know, I want people to know how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell some people, you know, but like this guy, he's, you know, he's pretty depressed. You know, he lost his wife, so I mean, you know, you shoving your significant other in his face is this gonna be like a, you know, like a punch to the gut for him?
Oh, I guess that's true. I don't want to make anybody upset. I mean, you know.
I'll just
Okay.
say nice to meet you. You know, just make small talk.
What's small talk?
Nice to meet you. How you doing? How's the weather? Those are the basic three.
Weather.
Yes, you know, if the sun's shining or if it's raining.
Okay.
You've heard of weather before, right?
I vaguely remember weather, but you know, I mean, pretty much it was just dusty in the mine.
Yeah, I guess I see what you mean. Yeah, that's you know, on a good day down there, I'm sure Dusty was good, but up here, you know, the sun's out, or it's snowing, or it's cold, or it's hot.
Okay, now that we've had that little lesson about what weather is, you guys have arrived.
Okay, I'll open the door.
It's locked.
I'll knock on the door.
Get out!
It's me. It's a friend. It's Dorian.
Dorian! He opens the door a little bit, and you can see his eyes like looking through the crack, and he says, "Oh,
What do you want? It's not safe to open the door these days.
Well, then let us in. There's a friend with me.
Okay. I'll let you guys in, but no funny business.
Don't worry. And once we're inside, I'll say, so how have you been?
Who's your friend here?"
Her name is Chiela.
Hi, I'm Sheila, and I run up to him and give him a big hug.
Hi. I'm Trogar. You're friendly, aren't you?
I just want to let you know that it gets better after the night is always darkest before the dawn.
Okay. I have this thinking suspicion that you're laughing your ass off right now.
Sorry, I'm trying really hard not to. Okay. The light is always darkest before the dawn, and if you just keep looking up, things will get better. I promise.
Like right now!
What do you mean, Dorian?
We have a surprise. The Suns think
My
that...
dead wife?
No. The Suns think
Oh.
that
Okay.
that you would make a good addition to possibly becoming the next Duke of this city.
Ah, ha, ha, ha. He laughs his ass off.
Well, I was
He's like-
talking about your wife.
You know something about my wife?
I was just reciting a poem to her, you know, the dark of the night, and people will find you, blah, you know.
Is
that.
my wife still alive?
No, it's you know, I was just reciting a poem that I told her that I had, you know, written about you.
You wrote a poem about me? That's so nice.
Yes, of course.
So,
was
what did you
nothing.
say the Suns wanted with me?
They think that you would make a really superb Duke candidate.
The Duke?
Yes.
Me? The
Yes.
Duke?
Yes.
That's funny, Dorian. That was a funny joke.
No, I'm not kidding. I mean, you're close with the people. You provide them with necessity. They all know you. They all like you. You were once a great and powerful warrior. They sympathize with you in your losses, and they will cheer for you when you for your gains.
You think so?
Well, I know so.
I'm not sure. I'll do it. That's what the Suns want. I would love to help out the Suns. I knew they'd come crawling back to Trogar the Invincible.
Yes, they definitely need you now more than ever.
I knew they needed me. They just
Hey,
didn't know it
hey,
yet.
hey, Trogar.
Yes.
So I'm gonna try this thing that is called small talk and ask you about why are you called the Invincible?
You're going to try this thing called... Oh, okay. Let's just go with it. Because I used to be a mighty warrior who was known for his strength and his prowess in battle. Before I got fat.
Wow, you know, you would have a lot in common with, I mean, never mind.
With who?
Just somebody that I know.
Who?
I'm really close to him. Just somebody.
Oh. Dorian thinks he knows and tries to move the subject and says, or change the subject, and he says, well, there's one small thing. You know, try not to bring too much up about the Suns, though. You know, people might not want to vote for you if they think that you were, you know, part of a gang. You know, just try to rely more on the fact that